frickin' back, you guys.
We missed you.
Yeah, we missed you guys a lot. It's been like 3 weeks, I think, and it sucked. It really sucked not being able to like put anything out and record. So this is good. I'm happy.
Reunited.
And it feels so good. But yeah, so my coworker. Oh wait, we didn't even say what this was. Oh my gosh, I'm Kayla,
I'm Michaela.
and we are Tale of Two Dead Girls. We talk about spooky stuff. We talk about paranormal and murder stories and aliens and everything freaky. So yeah, guys, welcome back. We took a short break because my microphone was having some issues, and my coworker was kind enough to let me borrow his microphone.
Yay,
So
shout out.
that's what I have right now. So yeah.
I've had like a super weird week this week. So like I'm in like a weird headspace right now. And like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of all the things like to talk about like what happened to me. But really all I can think about is seriously the X-Files and all the things that I've been watching in it, and it's so good.
Oh yeah, Michaela
Seriously.
has been on like a X-Files
X-Files
binge
kick
thing. She's like
for sure.
super into it right now.
It's like my life right now, and I'm obsessed with aliens right now, and I don't think I ever won't be. I was like watching videos of like this alien therapist, and I was telling my boyfriend that that was going to be me like 20 years.
Have you seen The Fourth Kind?
Yeah, it's scary.
Okay, the fourth kind is so freaking scary. I saw it in theaters, and
Can't do that.
yeah, I was terrified. I love that movie though. I think it's such an amazing film.
Me too. I want to watch it again. I haven't watched it for like a couple of years.
It's hard to find. I think you can find it on like a streaming site or something.
Yeah. It used to be on like Netflix, I think.
I don't know, maybe.
They should never take things off. They should just leave everything on.
I wish.
Don't rip away my dreams.
We me and Michaela are trying this new thing where we are on like webcam.
Yeah.
Because usually whenever we would record, we just call each other on the phone so we don't see each other.
hmm
But this time we're like, we need to start like seeing each other and like talking. So it's like we're actually
Yeah.
talking to each other instead of just like, you know, whatever. So we're doing this, and we're looking at each other right now.
Yeah. We are. Welcome.
Yeah. So this is what we're trying to do. So
We're excited. We just want to like try new stuff. Like I feel like we want to like branch out, and like even today I'm going to do something like a little different than like normal, but I don't know. We just want to like get a little funky, try some new stuff, you know?
yes. So also, I did get a new job. I don't know if I said that on the last episode, but I work literally like all day now. I work Monday through Friday all day, and I it's like if we record, it's gonna be like late at night, and that's it because I have no time during the day. So it freaking sucks. But it's all good. We're
Girls
still
making
here.
money. It's true.
Yes, we're doing
Work
it.
has to be done.
So, hope you guys aren't too mad at us for being away. Or,
It like sucked for us too. Like there's so many things I want to cover. 3 weeks lost. Like
that's a lot
my
of weeks.
goodness, it's so many weeks.
So, uh, this week, I think we're gonna have Michaela go first because I think I went first. The last episode that, like the last full episode that we had, I went first. So, she's gonna go first.
And it's kind of no surprise what I'm going to talk about, let's be honest. I'm going to talk about aliens and alien abduction and all of that good stuff. I'm going to start with like the common signs of an abduction just so everyone like knows like we're all like up to speed on the alien business from here on out.
Up to speed. Y'all better
It's very
know.
important. Like, this is going to be a topic that comes up frequently. So
Let's hear
get
it.
ready.
Give it to me. I'm ready.
So the common signs of an alien abduction are, we talked about this a lot, sleep paralysis. It's like, especially when you are first waking up, like the first 5 minutes of being awake, you can't move, or like, I don't know, you hallucinate, or I don't know, just like
You feel
sleepwalking.
paralyzed.
Yeah. Or you feel like a presence in the room when you like can't move. You're just like, but it's not like that dark figure that everybody talks about, you know? It's more like a bright light. Most people describe it as like,
It's
I don't know.
God.
Oh my god.
I see the light.
And then some people sleepwalk and like sleepwalk during their nightmares and stuff.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut you off for a second. Can I just say a quick little story about when I sleepwalked?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I was like 15 years old, and I was at this girl's house. I was like in love with this girl, the biggest crush on her. I spent the night at her house, and her mom bought us like four locos, and we
Oh
like
my
sat
god, no.
we sat in her dad's like office, and we just like got drunk really, really, really. My dog is licking his leg, and it's gross. Um, uh, we were sitting in her dad's office, and we drank really fast, and then we were like making out and stuff, and then she ends up like throwing up a lot, and I like take care of her, and then she goes to sleep, and I go up to the room to go to sleep, and I'm so drunk, and she has a bathroom in her bedroom. And I'm so drunk, and I walk to her parents' room, okay? I didn't even know where her parents' room was. I am drunk and half asleep or something, and I walk to her parents' room. I go inside, and I see them. I can remember this. I see them laying in bed, and they like look at me, and I'm like, "Where's the bathroom?" and then and they're like, "Oh, it's downstairs," even though there was one in her room. And then I go downstairs to the bathroom that she was like puking in all night.
Oh
And
no.
then the next morning, because the dad didn't know that we were drunk, like we couldn't
Oh
tell her
no, no,
dad.
no, no.
And
Yeah,
so
of
he was
course.
just like, "That's so funny. You were sleepwalking and you went into our room." And I was like, "Oh, did I?"
Silly
But yeah,
me.
that was my story,
Whoops.
and I think it was just funny that anytime sleepwalking gets brought up, I think of that because I've never sleptwalk, not to my knowledge, but
Yeah.
that reminds me of it.
I definitely have. When I was a kid, I used to sleepwalk all the time. Like down my hallway and just weird stuff. I don't know.
That's
But
freaky.
yeah, it was weird. I don't know. I grew out of it though, I guess. More symptoms are like weird, unexplained bloody noses, like happening a lot, or like getting a headache out of nowhere, getting like scars, bruises, marks, like implant marks or implant, like you feel it. Like, I know this sounds really crazy, but like, I think it's real. I'm pretty sure it is.
Like the birth control implant.
I have it.
Maybe you've been abducted. Maybe it wasn't the
Maybe.
nurses that put it in. Maybe it was an
Yeah.
alien.
I think it was a nurse. I went through that pain and it was awful. I hated every moment.
That's scary.
It really was, but it's so worth it. It's so, so, so worth it.
Okay, I was gonna say, but like a lot of people have issues with it.
Really? I haven't had any issues
The
with it.
bar?
Yeah, haven't
Yeah,
had any problems.
you've never have you heard about it?
Mm-mm.
There's like a huge thing where that was like becoming like it was just so bad. Like everyone was like, "Don't put this shit in your body," and blah blah blah. Like it was like making people sick, and it was like giving people, I don't know, weird uh like illnesses. I don't know. It was just really weird, but there was like a huge thing where people were not having good reactions to it
Mm-hmm.
for like a long time.
That's really weird. I've had it for like 4 years. Like, I just got it replaced and I've never had a problem. Like, it's been the easiest thing I've ever dealt with. I love it. 10 out of
You're the
10.
lucky one.
I know.
Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Some people like literally can't sleep. Like they just have chronic insomnia all the time. They're scared. And some people like hear a humming noise, like the sound of like a car, like a semi truck being like idled and like, or like idling. I don't know. I'm not a car person. But like people hear that when like going to sleep and stuff like that. And then some people after an abduction can develop a new phobia, an addiction, a disorder. Some people get like obsessive compulsive disorder. A really big one is like missing or lost time. Like 1 minute it's 6 o'clock and then all of a sudden you're conscious again and it's 8 o'clock and you don't know why. And
That's
like,
so weird.
yeah. I don't know. And like people have their like electronics stop working and stuff after. I don't know. It's super weird. And then some people develop like superhuman gifts or like clairvoyance. And I'll talk about that more like in detail later. But I noticed that people often feel like a noticeable presence in the room. Like they know kind of what happened, but it's the real details are like kind of erased or like hidden, you know? And then
Yeah.
there's like tons of different kinds of aliens people think. So I was reading like some psychologists and doctors that deal with people who get abducted by aliens or believe they got abducted by aliens. And there's this psychologist named Nicholas Dumont, and he said that after several years of research and interviews that he's convinced there are several races of aliens. He said it seems like there are reptile aliens who sometimes provoke terror, other times a kind of love. Then you have the blonde humanoids who are very tall and paternal. Patients feel good around them. They are also little gray men who are particularly invasive and devoid of empathy. They're the worst because their coldness is very often traumatizing. I think that's like the most popular one. Like the gray one, everyone talks about it.
The tall you said they were tall blonde, right?
It's like called a blonde humanoid.
Okay, I don't know
But they're
why, but
tall.
have you ever seen Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
You know those super what were they
Yeah.
called? We are hot chicks or something, and then they like put the big stick down their throat
Yeah,
all at
yeah.
once. That's what it reminds me of because those are like aliens, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's funny.
I just think it's weird, like all of them have like kind of a different MO and like treat everybody differently and like I don't know. He said that some patients tell him that contact with insectoid creatures has arisen and like they
Wait,
have
what
like
is
a
that?
leader, like an insect. Like there's like
Insectoid?
reptile ones, insect ones, stuff like that. It would make sense because like insects are some of the strongest species like even on our earth, you know?
Yeah.
And then there's also a Dr. Jacobs who's been studying aliens and UFO for over 42 years. He started the International Center for Abduction Research, and they are like devoted to getting like legit UFO abduction information. And they have interviewed over 150 people who've been abducted and over like 1,150 events. That's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
It's a
that
lot.
that is a
Yeah,
lot.
it really
God
is.
damn.
And then he describes, like, in his experience, a typical abduction is a very complex series of events and procedures directed by the abductors to passive or controlled abductees. In a typical or common abduction, humans are taken out of their normal environment by aliens. The people are rendered passive and cannot resist. They are taken aboard a UFO, their clothes are removed, and they are made to lie on a table. A series of physical, mental, and productive procedures are then administered to the subjects. People's physical bodies are probed and examined. Sperm is taken, eggs are harvested. It's
Ew,
just like,
bitch.
it's really scary. I don't
That's
know.
so creepy. I wonder if that's like where Walt Disney's head is. In a
Maybe.
spaceship somewhere.
Being like reproduced. Ew. It says the aliens perform staring procedures during which they gaze into abductees' eyes at a distance of only an inch or two. These mind scan procedures appear to be neurological manipulations which give the aliens the ability to enter people's minds. After table procedures, abductees report that they are sometimes taken into other rooms where they are required to have skin on skin contact with unusual looking babies.
Ew! Oh god,
It's
that's
really
so.
scary.
That sounds fun.
It says that it sounds like, I don't even know, a whole different level of like baby fever. I don't even know. It says that they see like hybrid children, like half human, half alien kids,
Ugh,
basically.
that's
Yeah,
giving me chills.
it's weird. Some of them have to perform tasks and they're tested, obviously. They say that machines are brought in to examine them, and they are sometimes required to have a form of sexual intercourse with other humans, and sometimes with adolescent or adult hybrids. They are returned to their normal environment, and within seconds, they just forget what happened to them. And like, it's really believed among like the community of doctors and stuff that deal with this that they're trying to create a hybrid species, like using humans and aliens, you know? And it's
That's
just
so weird. I don't.
weird.
Can they? Is that like possible though? Because do you know how they say like they can't like it can't be like a dog and a
Yeah, yeah,
elephant. You
yeah.
know, like
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's possible, or are they trying? Huh?
Yeah, or like, I don't know, like on one episode of X Files, who knows? This is probably just for Hollywood. They like injected people with like alien DNA, like with like a virus or something. You know what I mean? Like just a
That's freaky.
yep.
I don't want to be injected by alien DNA.
Me either. Stay away from me with that. Unless it makes me like really happy. That'd be cool. Like I'll take some of that.
Uh, no thanks. I'm good.
I don't know, like how bad could it be? What if it becomes like the new thing? Like the new Botox that like gets some alien DNA.
No more unicorn blood. It's alien blood. You fools.
So now that we know like what an alien abduction, like a legit alien abduction is like, I'm gonna talk about the first documented alien abduction.
Hell yeah.
So it was in 1961, and Barney Hill was a 39-year-old black man who worked for the U.S. Postal Service, and his wife Betty was a 41-year-old white woman who supervised the Child Welfare Department. They loved each other a lot, but fought fiercely for their right to be an interracial couple when it was uncommon for that time. And Barney was even on his local board for the Commission of Civil Rights. So, shout out Barney.
Shout out Barney.
And I think
Thanks.
like at this point in time, they were married for like 16 years already. So,
Aw,
they in love for sure.
that's cute.
So, I know. Shout out. And when you guys see the pictures of them, you're going to cry. They have a cute little wiener dog. It's the best.
Oh my god, wiener
Yeah.
dogs are so adorable.
And it looks soft and nice and a beautiful family portrait, truly. But
Cute.
anyways, on September 19th, 1951, the moon was bright and they were on their way back home to Portsmouth, New Hampshire for a spontaneous road trip, or from a spontaneous road trip. They went to Niagara Falls and Montreal. And during their drive, they were like on this road called Route 3. And it's like a long, windy, like desolate, basically, road. Like I can only imagine these days there'd be no cell service probably.
My kind of
And
road.
it's just like, what if something goes wrong? And
YOLO.
then we'll see. But anyways, it was near this place called Indian Head, New Hampshire. And around like 10:30 at night, they noticed a light was starting to follow them. So they were like looking in the mirrors, like looking out, and Barney thought it might be like an aircraft or a star or a planet, like trying to think of any logical reason, you know? But the light was moving like super erratically, like zigzagging like all across the street and like going into the
Yes.
forest and stuff. And they were like, that cannot be a plane, or, you know, like super weird. And they couldn't hear a plane or anything. So
Wow.
they also hadn't seen a car in miles. Like it was just completely empty and desolate.
Wait, and this was at night, right?
Yeah, like 10:30 at night.
That's freaky, because if it's on a road like that, then it must be really dark.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the light, this light, it just kept getting like closer and closer to them. But Barney was a World War II vet, and he like knew about planes. He was like a plane enthusiast, so he would have recognized a plane, but he didn't recognize what they saw flying in the sky. And eventually they decided they were going to like pull over at a rest stop and check it out, and like pulled their binoculars out, and they were looking, and they were starting to get like suspicious. Betty instantly was like, I think it might be aliens. Like maybe it's a UFO. And he was, yeah, exactly. She
Yes,
was right on the
Betty.
money. And like they noted he had an IQ of 140. But
Wow.
anyways,
Wait, is that
I know.
high?
I don't know. Like why would they say it if it wasn't? He was like,
Oh, maybe it
oh,
could be like
bet.
extremely low.
No, like 70s low.
That's probably
Like
mine.
Brendan Dassey from like Making a Murderer has like a 70 IQ or IQ of 70. My IQ is probably 69. I don't know.
Same.
Anyways, but Barney didn't believe in aliens and Betty did. So, he wasn't coming to terms with it very quickly, but he was scared because it was like dark and I don't know, they were out in the middle of nowhere. So they got back on the road, started driving. Eventually, he started getting like more worried about it, and he slams on the brakes and like puts his gun in his pocket and runs into the forest, like the field alone, and leaves her in the car.
That's
And
bizarre.
yeah, he sees like the saucer in the sky, and there's like all of these lights like coming down. He described it as a pancake shaped object.
Yum.
And then he saw with his eyes, he saw like gray uniformed beings with windows like in front of them, like a UFO. There's a picture of it, and it's really weird.
That's so
It's
tight.
Yeah, it's exactly what we think UFOs are now. Like I think that has to be right. You were on a roll tonight.
I think it's a pumpkin pie.
It's a bad time. And then they got back in the car and started driving again. Like he was like, let's get out of here. And then they started hearing a loud rhythmic beat coming from the trunk. And then all of a sudden they lost consciousness. And
Whoa.
then
Wait a second. I think there's like a story, like a documentary on this
really?
specific. Yeah, because I think I've seen it. Wait. No, wait. Does this happen in X-Files?
Probably
Like with the loss
something
of
like
time?
this. Yeah, all the time.
Okay, maybe I just saw X-Files. I don't remember.
It happens like mostly every Alien episode, but not all, but most, the majority. But then 2 hours later, they like come to and they're 35 miles further down the road. And they just drove the rest of the way like quietly, like in shock. Like, what the fuck just happened to me? And when they got home, they realized like they lost the 2 hours. And it was like they had planned they were going to get home around 3, and they got home like almost when the sun was coming up. So way later.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's actually like I feel like I would like to experience that.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
But like so scary. Like what the fuck? Like what's going
It
on
would
in my
change you
life?
for sure. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it would seriously change you. But when they got home, they were like weird. They like put all of their food outside. They like didn't bring anything in. They were scared that they were like had radiation on them.
Oh my god.
She insisted on keeping the luggage by the back door rather than the main part of the house. Their watches stopped running and never worked again, like no matter what they did. And Barney had this leather strap that his binoculars were on, and it was torn. And like it was perfectly fine before the incident, so they don't know what happened. And then the toes of his dress shoes were scraped up, and he said he had like this feeling to go examine his genitals in the bathroom. and he didn't find anything, but he just like felt like ugh, like icky, you know.
I'm pretty sure there is a documentary on this or like a dramatization kind of thing because I think I've seen this
I watched like this
on a
movie
show.
about it kind of, but it was like not well known, and it was like not well made really, but you can watch it. It's not great, but it
Your
I,
facial expressions.
it's like seriously probably 3.5 out of 10 maybe. That's being very generous. But I wasn't paying that much attention, I guess, anyways, too. So, what can I say? Um After everything, they took like a long shower in the like hot water to make sure that they didn't have any radiation or like icky stuff on them. And they sat down and drew a picture of what they saw. And I have a picture to like post of that too. And
Yes, I want to
it's
see. Wait, why don't you
so
show
weird.
me these things? I want to
Because
see
it's a
them.
it's a surprise. I need to like have it all ready so I can just be like, and this is the picture and this is it. Like
Oh yeah,
send it real time.
you could just text them to
True.
me.
I didn't save them yet, but I need to. I've just like seen them. But um so they drew the pictures and they went to bed and they slept for like a full day, like till the next afternoon, and they were like exhausted, you know. They just went on
Mm-hmm.
vacation. She changed out of her dress when she woke up in the afternoon and like her dress shoes and stuff and like put them in the closet. And later she realized they had all this weird pink powder all over like the dress and it was like stained everywhere and like she never was around that substance. And they also noticed like weird shiny circles on their car. And when they when they
I'm just gonna do that every time. I'm gonna do it in the mic.
whoops. When they brought a compass near the weird shiny circles, like the compass would go like crazy and the needle would totally spin around and I don't know. They said that that's really common with counter rotating magnetic fields and that's like a sign of alien abduction. So,
Whoa.
I know.
Confirmation.
I know. There's a lot of facts in this case, you know? So, 2 days after this all happened, Betty reported the encounter to Pease Air Force Base. And the next day, Major Paul W. Henderson called the Hills to get more information on what happened to them. And then Betty was like going hard on the UFO train. Like, I'm on it too. And she was getting all these books on like aerial phenomenon and all this weird stuff. And um, Major Henderson actually found a legit connection between the night that they reported it and like a UFO report that was on their Air Force radar on at like two different locations too. And then this like concrete evidence caused them to not open it was already kind of happening before, but this like kickstarted them like let's get into action, you know. It
Mm-hmm.
was called Project Blue Book. And there was this man named Kenneth Arnold. He was a pilot in 1947, and he reported that he saw 9 like flying objects, like UFO saucer shaped objects near Mount Rainier. And the Air Force took notice to it and they started an investigation of the sightings, and that was called Operation Sign. And then that caused like Project Blue Book to start. And Project Blue Book has looked into over 12,000 sightings. And
That's a
that's
hell of a lot.
yeah, and that's just since it started in 1948 to 1969. Like 12,000. That's not
That's a lot.
that's so
That's
much.
tons.
So back to Betty and Barney. They were back to their life. Betty was having horrible nightmares of like a spacecraft and having medical tests done to her, but they couldn't really remember what happened. Like a huge chunk of their memory was just like gone.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years later, they went to a doctor named Benjamin Simon who kind of helped them piece everything together. They met with them for months and months and months every single week to figure everything out. And so they started explaining like what happened to the guy, he would take them and he would hypnotize them and put them in different rooms and stuff. And they would come to recognize everything that happened, you know? They
Sounds
couldn't
like the fourth
remember.
kind.
Exactly. So they would be taken into an examination room alone, and this is like on during the abduction. And the examination room had like big lights hanging from the ceiling and had curved walls. They were asked to lay on a short metal table. They were stripped down naked, and the creatures or aliens collected strands of their hair, like plucked it out,
Ouch.
scraped their skin off, clipped their nails. They like probed Betty's stomach with like a large needle that was like 6 inches long for like a
Ugh.
pregnancy test.
No, thank
A-
you.
Bad time. And she said it was like horribly painful when she remembered it. And they put wire probes into their spines, arms, legs, and heads. And that sounds just completely awful to me.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Yeah. And then there was like this leader who was watching them the whole time, like in the corner and kind of like, you know, hyping them up. And they said he was like 5 to 6 feet tall. And then Betty was also able to draw a constellation map of the aliens' home world completely from memory. And it was said to match this star formation or something called,
That's crazy.
I think it's called Zeta Reticuli, I think.
Zeta Lapidus.
I know. Yes.
Zoom,
But
zoom, zoom. You make my heart go boom, boom, boom. Is that even how it goes? I don't
I
know.
think so, yeah. I loved her. I loved
Me
Xenon.
too. Oh my god. And
The
Little
queen.
Raven. When she was little.
Yes.
Oh.
That fashion was on point.
I loved
Seriously.
it. Ugh, I want
Me
to watch it
too.
now.
That's another thing. Put that on Netflix. Like at Netflix.
Yes.
Put that on.
Netflix, if any of you Netflix people are watching us, you better put that on
Please.
now.
I'm begging.
Thanks.
So they also tested the pink powder on Betty's dress, and it was found to be chemical effects of dye, but they didn't know what caused it. Like, it could have been explained by things on Earth, I guess, but it wasn't from her, and they didn't come in contact with anything else, so they don't really know what happened. But during Barney's hypnosis, I watched or I listened to the whole thing, the first one or something. It was like 40 minutes long. It's really intense. Like, he has vivid facts of what happened, and he describes aliens like skinny figures with gray skin, large bald heads, huge black eyes are slanted, like all these things that people see aliens as today. And he like even breaks down and screams and cries in the hypnosis. It's so weird. It's scary.
That's really scary. I think hypnosis, especially for that, is like terrifying.
Exactly, because you're like bringing back memories you're like really not supposed to have. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's bad. But their doctor didn't believe them. He thought this was just a product of Betty's obsession of UFO and extraterrestrials.
Extraterrestrial. You just say ET. ET
ET.
phone home.
Yeah, it's such a like tongue twister. Um
Extraterrestrial.
she was like obsessed with it after it happened, which I totally understand. She's like searching for a reason. But also her sister had an alien experience like a year before they did, so the doctor was like, that's sus, like don't believe it. And he thought honestly that her dreams and her delusions like caused everything that Barney said. But I don't agree with that at all. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the story of Betty and Barney Hill. There's like tons of movies about this. Not movies, books. There's like tons of books about this. And like, this is a really popular thing. Like, if you look up UFOs, you will find information on this. Like,
That's
it's
why I
very
think I
popular.
probably have seen it in like a show or something because it kind of sounds super familiar.
Yeah. I just thought it's like really interesting to see like what kind of shaped how we deal with it now, which I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
delved into that yet, but I'm excited to see like what's hidden from us. Let me know. WikiLeaks, you
What?
know.
What's that?
It's like they release things.
WikiLeaks?
I think, right? Am I wrong? Is that
I don't
like
know.
from a cartoon? Help
I
me.
don't know. I've never heard of it.
What's the thing? Hold on, let's look it up. It like secret government facts. That's what I'm looking up. And then the FBI is gonna knock on my door.
The dark web.
Yeah, it's like I have no idea. If you look this up, it's like, where's the CIA located? Like, why would they tell you that? I don't know. I really don't know what it's called, but I think it's that. It's like the thing that they just drop weird government things, like secrets on. If I'm wrong, you can correct me on the name. Anybody. Let me know. Email us.
WikiLeaks.
But yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. That was very cool. I'm so down for alien stuff. I love it. I was really hoping and like wondering when we were gonna start, saying some alien stories. So
for sure,
it's pretty cool.
All I needed was a little Scully and Mulder push, you know?
Yeah,
the good one too.
Hell yeah! I just heard the toilet flush. Okay, so mine is kind of really scary.
Okay.
And I'm scared to talk about it because it's already 10 o'clock at night, and but all my lights are on. So
we're about to be spook shitless.
Yeah. Okay, so this story involves journalists, demonologists, and the Roman Catholic Church.
Oh goodness. Getting real deep.
Yeah. So this is the story of the Smurl family haunting.
Ooh.
When I looked it up, I thought it was funny. Yeah, because Smurl and like I thought of like Smurfs and then swirls. So like swirl and Smurf and Smurls. You know, I don't know.
It's a weird name, but I love it.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm trying not to sneeze on this microphone right now.
Go ahead. Sneeze all over it.
Achoo.
Bless you. All right. So the Smurls were a family of 6. Jack and Janet Smurl were the parents, and they had 4 daughters, which were Dawn, Heather, and then they had twins named Shannon and Karen. But Karen spelt with a C.
Basic.
They were living in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and everything happened during the years of 1974 to 1989.
Okay.
The Smurls were a well-respected Catholic family. Jack and Janet met in 1967 and got married a year later. Jack served in the Navy and became a neuropsychiatric technician later on in life. In 1972, Hurricane Agnes flooded their home, so the Smurls moved in with Jack's parents to a duplex on 330 Chase Street.
That's a nightmare waiting to happen.
Just the fact that it's on it has a 3 in the number, you know?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Also a duplex, like I live in one of those. Imagine that many people and that it's just a lot.
Well, there was so it was like the duplex that they lived in, but it was like the parents were in one, and then Jack and Janet and their family was in another.
That's a good deal then.
Yeah. So sorry, I had to like do that thing again, but it didn't happen. Okay, it's not happening. Okay. The duplex was originally built in 1896 and was located on a quiet street in a lovely middle-class neighborhood.
Fancy.
The house was bought in 1973. Jack's parents lived on the right half of the house, and the Smurl family lived on the left. The house was a bit of a fixer-upper, so they put a lot of love into their side of the home and spent what money they could redecorating and remodeling and putting an effort to make their new house, a home.
The best.
The haunting began in January of 1974. A strange stain appeared on one of the home's new carpets that had no explanation and could not be easily removed. Then they would find... that's not what I meant to say. Then Okay, I'm gonna skip that line. Uh, a television set burst into flames. Kitchen
What?
appliances, yeah. Kitchen appliances would catch on fire even though they were unplugged. Tools went missing and then they reappeared. Pipes continued to leak despite being soldered. Soldered? I don't know. The new sink, the new sink and bathtub were unexplainably scratched, and awful odors overwhelmed the house, only to disperse moments later. In
Ew.
1975, Dawn, the oldest daughter, began telling her parents she saw people floating around her bedroom.
How old was she? Do you know? I don't
I
know.
don't. Damn, I
I
don't know
wish I
that.
knew because like I feel like when you're younger you see it, but if she's the oldest one, that's why I'm like this girl has some intuition. She's a clairvoyant.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know how old she is. Probably like, she's either a child or a teen.
Yeah,
She
that's what
might
I
be
was
a
thinking.
child. Um,
Oldest daughter
uh,
gives me teen vibes.
Same. In 1970, God, I'm hearing things. In 1977, after years of intermittent, I don't know, and easily overlooked experiences, what? After the years, oh my God, I can't read this. I wrote this and I can't read it. Okay, in 1977, things inside the home started to intensify. In addition to everything that had already happened, the family also began hearing footsteps. Other incidents like unplugged radios were blaring music, cold spots randomly
Ugh.
appearing, drawers were angrily opened and closed. Also, okay, I don't know what I did here in this writing, but everything is like chopped up. Um, but yeah, so drawers would open and close and stuff. And
Scary,
then
scary.
Jack began to feel an unseen hand caress him, and the consistent feeling that he had a consistent feeling that he was being watched. Over the next few years, things started to intensify more. So
No.
that was 1977. So like 7 or 8 years later, oh, I think it's 8. In 1985, Janet gave birth to the twins, Shannon and Karen, which only seemed to further increase the activity.
I'm sure.
A light fixture fell from the ceiling, cutting one of the daughters on impact.
Mm-mm.
Scratches began appearing on everyone in the family, the walls would rattle, and the dog was picked up and dangled 6 feet
Ugh.
in the air and
Not the
thrown across the
dog.
room. I know! Oh my
No.
gosh, that's what I thought too. I was like,
Sad.
please, not the dog. Um,
Pick on someone your own size.
It was picked up and thrown across the room by an invisible presence, and Janet experienced levitation. Jack claimed a succubus entered the living room and raped him.
Sus.
Even neighbors reported hearing screams from the house while the family was out. Jack's parents, the elder Smurls, often heard insults, screams. What?
The elder Smurls.
Yes, the elder Smurls often heard insults, screams, and other loud noises coming from the Smurls' side of the duplex. However, nothing ever appeared inside their home. Like, they never saw anything inside the house. Mary and Janet claimed to have heard voices that sounded like one another. Janet thought she heard her mother-in-law calling her name, while Mary thought she heard Janet and Jack arguing. Ominous black masses formed and floated through the home. Janet said she was visited at night by a malevolent force that molested her in her sleep.
Ugh.
At one point,
Scary.
Jack was lying in bed with Janet when he heard a young woman whispering. When he turned to face his wife, he watched a shadowy figure run up her leg. I'm getting
That's
freaked.
scary.
In January 1986, the Smurls decided to contact the Warrens. Woo woo! We're talking about the Warrens again.
They're back.
They responded positively and made their way from Connecticut to Pennsylvania. They brought along Rosemary Frueh. I don't know. Rosemary Frueh, who was a nurse and psychic. Their investigation went on into August 1986. In their initial
Wow.
walkthrough, yeah, so that was quite a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many months was that? I don't know how many months that was, but it was probably like 5 months or something. Oh no,
Yeah.
that was 8 months. Oh
That's a
my
long
god,
time. Yeah.
that was a long time. Um, in their initial walkthrough, they believed there to be four different entities within the home.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Three were fairly minor and likely responsible for some of the smaller unexplained occurrences. However, the fourth entity was very powerful and angry, according to Ed Warren. Quote, "The Smurls are truly a family coming under a visual attack." That's what Warren said. He also said, "The ghost, devil, demon, or whatever you call it, is in that home." Dun dun dun.
Yikes. That's awful.
Scary. Ed Warren decided to Ed Warren decided to contact a Vatican mandated exorcist, Father McKenna.
Ooh.
They attempted an exorcism, but the attacks continued. During this time, several members of the family reported being sexually violated and made ill by the entities.
Mm.
According to Helly Star, which I don't know who Helly Star is, I should have looked her up, but I don't know who that is.
What a name.
Helly Star.
Love it.
Okay, these are quotes. Janet said she had been sexually assaulted by the shadows she had seen. One of the twins, Karen, suddenly fell ill and nearly died from this inexplicable infection. And Dawn, the second twin, was also sexually assaulted by the entity. Janet and her mother-in-law had traces of beatings and bites all over their body. End quote.
That is just like the worst type of violation to ever exist.
You're getting sexually harassed by a goddamn ghost.
It's a demon, probably at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
succubus, whatever a succubus could be. I don't know if that's
Devil, evil.
Stop. It's scary. Father McKenna attempted another exorcism some months later, but it didn't have positive results. Rumors started to spread about the family. Many believed the family might be looking to sell their house or make money off of the haunting. With these rumors being spread, the press latched on and people camped out in front of the Smurls' home. Literally on their lawn. Reporters flooded their lawn. Huh?
That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. Reporters flooded their lawn and took tons of pictures day and night. People in cars cruised by hoping to catch a glimpse of anything paranormal. Representatives from the Roman Catholic Church in Scranton. I don't know where Scranton is. I should have looked that up, but I have no idea.
The Office.
What?
Aren't they in Scranton in The Office? Am I wrong?
Wait, what?
Like, have you ever watched The Office?
Oh, I've only seen like the first 2 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was like recently. I'm barely trying to watch it.
Good. You need the push. Dive in, my dear.
I will. I'm getting to it. So representatives from the Roman Catholic Church in Scranton weren't sure what was causing all the activity. A third exorcism. Oh my god, that
It's
light.
a lot.
Oh my god, the light behind you. I was like, why is, like, what? I don't know. That scared me.
Do you want to believe?
A third exorcism was attempted, but this time with several priests as well as a group of parishioners from a local church.
Yeah.
That. It is important to note that the exorcism was not supported by the Vatican. I think Vatican is such a creepy word.
Me too.
Like, it just sounds dark and
I think of like an underground like cave that's angry and it's full of weird men that are wearing robes.
What? That kind of reminds me of a Hereditary.
Yeah.
The naked people in robes. However, it appeared to work. Nothing paranormal was experienced for months. Activity began creeping in again, though, and in 1987, the family decided to finally leave the home.
Heck yeah.
Apparently, the demons or whatever followed them to their new house until 1989, when there was another exorcism performed, and that cleared anything that was in the house. and nothing has been reported ever since.
Good. That's what they deserve.
Yeah, that's literally all I have. That was it. That was the whole story. But since I have some time, I think I want to read someone's story.
Okay.
I'm going to share my friend Kale, her email, because it's on sleep paralysis, and I think we don't have any more sleep paralysis
like ones for
emails.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and share this one. Hey girls, I love the podcast. My name is Kale. I have a sleep paralysis story and another scary experience that I wanted to share. This may be a little long. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready. Buckle up.
Okay. When I was younger, probably around 12 or 13, I lived in a very spooky house and I used to get really scared. And I used to get scared really easily, so sometimes I'd make my little sister sleep with me. One night, I woke up randomly, like my eyes just shot open, and I was laying on my back, and I turned my head to the right, and I looked over at my alarm clock, and it read exactly 3 a.m.
No.
I looked
Bad
forward
vibes.
then. I looked forward then to the left at my sister sleeping next to me. I looked forward again, and I saw the blanket slowly coming off of me. And only me. I looked up and I saw a huge black shadow figure almost resembling smoke coming through the corner of the wall and ceiling. This reminds me of like those freaking haunting shows where they would like do reenactments of this stuff, 100%. And that's like so scary. I remember trying to scream for my sister and scream help, and nothing was coming out. I could only move my head and remember seeing my sister still sleeping peacefully. I still remember the crushing weight I felt when this cloud of black was on my chest. It felt like it lasted an eternity, but when the shadow figure disappeared, I was finally able to move and the clock read 3:05 a.m. I ran up 2 flights of stairs to my grandma's room, and I swear I only actually stepped on 2 stairs. I was going so fast. For about 5 years, I lived thinking this was a demon trying to attack me before I learned about sleep paralysis. Sometimes, to this day, it's hard to believe it was sleep paralysis because of how real it felt.
Scary.
That is pretty scary. I'm so sorry, Kale. That's, like, terrifying. Oh my god. I already read a word in here and I'm scared. Okay. Another story I have is a little long, but I'll try to keep it short. There's a grave in the cemetery where I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, that has, quote, Lily E. Gray, victim of the beast, 666.
What? Ugh.
Engraved in it.
Send
Okay,
us
this
pics.
is really scary. Oh my god. She did send us a picture, actually. Oh my god, and I didn't even look at it. That's so scary. Oh my god.
I'm gonna look right now.
I'm so scared. Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay.
Spooked.
You can look at spooked, yes. Okay. You can look it up online, but there's multiple conflicting stories about why it's there, so no one really knows. I'll attach a picture, and she did. Anyway, a few friends and I decided to make and play with a Ouija board on the street next to her grave. We were only getting jumbled up responses and nothing legitimate. I've always been told that you don't let go of the board until everyone playing says goodbye and the spirit says goodbye. One of my friends got annoyed that we weren't getting responses and took his fingers off and started walking away. This freaked me out. I went home to my apartment that I shared with a couple and their newborn 2-month-old baby and went to sleep. There's a baby in that house and they just played with the Ouija board. Girl, Kale, what are you doing?
You're making mistakes. No.
I didn't tell them about what I had done. The next night when I got home, the couple told me that the baby was in his automatic rocker with the speed set to 1. They went out of the room, then back in and saw him flying back and forth with the speed set to 4.
No.
That's
so
poor
scary.
Baby.
I know.
They were freaked out by this, but I still didn't tell them that night before I had played with the Ouija board. Later that night, we were sitting around the table drawing and heard the front door knob jiggle. My male roommate went and opened the door and there was no one there. Then suddenly we heard my bedroom doorknob jiggle. Nothing else happened that night other than I didn't sleep a week. Nothing happened for a few more nights, but I got home one night and they told me that their son...
The baby son?
nothing happened for a few more nights, but I got home one night and they told me that their son, again 2 months old, was laying in the middle of their king-size bed sleeping, and they went to shower, and when they got out, they saw him dangling off the edge of the bed. At this time, he couldn't even roll over. I was really scared to tell them that I played with the Ouija board, so I didn't. The next night, I was arriving home around 3 or 4 a.m. I've always been super scared of the dark, so I would always open the front door and turn on the light, then walk to my bedroom and turn on the light, and then walk back to the front door and turn the front door light off. Me too, girl. I'm terrified of the dark.
Me too.
I was walking back to turn off the light, and I noticed a black figure crouching. Oh, God.
Not again.
Crouching and moving toward me, and I heard a crumpling, creaking sound. I thought my roommate was trying to scare me, so I said, "Very funny, Avery," and looked over, and nothing was there. I started screaming, and I ran into their bedroom and woke them up. They came running out, and the only reason I know that what happened was real is because there was a crumpled up receipt on the tile that wasn't near me, and that was what made the crumpling, creaking sound when the figure came towards me.
No.
Oh, Avery is...
I'm getting the chills.
Me too. I'm like still
Scary.
looking over my shoulder. Avery is Native American, so he immediately called his mom. She told him to... She told him to open all the doors and windows and put her on speakerphone. She started chanting Native American prayers and chants, and the next day we saged the apartment and nothing happened again after that. I ended up telling them about the Ouija board, and they were definitely not happy, but I've learned my lesson. This is still the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. Sorry this story is long and may not make sense. It's feel free... Oh, never mind. Okay. One last thing is that I grew up in Vernal, Utah, which is around 2 hours away from Skinwalker Ranch. If you guys don't know about it, I highly suggest reading up on it and doing an episode on it. It's basically about Native American legends, UFOs, and creepy creatures. All things spooky. Yes. And then she sent us the picture of the tombstone.
I just looked at it. It's spooky. It's weird.
It is so freaky. Like, victim of the beast 666. That's so scary.
Weird to say. Yeah.
Like, she could, okay, like, it could be anything. So she could be like in a cult and be like, hey, this is what I want on my tombstone if I die.
So true. Also, she was born in 1881 and she died in 1958.
Wait, I didn't even read that.
That's a long time ago. She was a real devil worshiper.
So she probably was just a devil worshiper because...
Or maybe she was like a nice person and she did something wrong and died, or like overdosed on drugs or something. I don't know.
That's crazy because she was probably the one to put that on her gravestone. Oh my God, we should totally look into this.
Yeah, we should search her name.
Yeah, we'll probably mention it like maybe next episode or something. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys today. We finally got to do a long episode.
Yeah. Tell us, do you like UFOs? Have you seen a UFO? Are you in a UFO club? Do you live in Oregon? Hit me up. I want to be in it. Please.
A UFO club. We should start a UFO club.
Yes.
Tale of two dead girls takes on aliens or something. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Tale of UFOs.
Tale of two aliens. Alien girls. Wait, that's cute. Talian. Oh my God, I cannot talk. Talians? I need to go to sleep.
I kind of love it.
Talians.
So
there was a podcast that I wanted to mention. It's called Convincing Cam. They are I think fairly new podcast. Yeah. And they talk about conspiracies, unsolved murders, creepy things in general. So, kind of like ours.
Isn't there like a skeptic involved in the play too, the mix?
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, So there's Jory and I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Jory and Rachel, and they are the believers. And Matt, there's also Matt, and he doesn't believe in anything. And they all try to discuss and argue to convince Cameron, who is another person, that they are right about whatever the topic is. They are on Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud. So I think that's pretty interesting, you know, like to have a skeptic and then two believers trying to convince like a person that just doesn't believe in it.
Yeah, for sure.
So go check that out. Once again, they're called Convincing Cam. You can find them on Instagram under Convincing Cam. We'll probably link them in our post, our Instagram post or something.
Yeah.
When we post about this. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for listening.
We love you. We're sorry that we lagged. Send us your stories.
Yeah, but like, just so you guys know, we didn't lag on purpose. I was having mic issues and I'm still waiting for it to come back. So I miss my mic.
She sent it in. They're like examining it. We're hoping that we'll get an answer that it's broken and we'll be good to go.
And they can give me a new one. All right, guys, send us your stories. taleoftwodeadgirls@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, TOTDG podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Tale of Two Dead Girls. Thanks. Bye. We'll meet you 6 feet under.